Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to WOR here for the Tier 2 Championship Round 6 of the Season 16 season, where today we go to our third track this season, which we've never been to before on the PC side, which is Singapore. We was at Monaco in Round 3, never been there before. Las Vegas in Round 4, no one ever went there before. And here tonight in Singapore, PC, haven't been here. So yes, it's going to be... Well, I wouldn't say a new track for the drivers, but for ones that have solely racing WR, it probably will be a little bit more new than normal. So I'm excited to see how the race can go tonight around Singapore. Quite a thin, tight circuit, a little bit boring in my opinion. So I don't think we'll see much race. I think it's all going to be about that qualifying. But Chris, I was gone last week. He was with Mr. Joshua Birch. Explain what happened in Texas, because I heard it was a brilliant race.
Chaos. It was brilliant from a spectator standpoint. There were a lot of thrills and spells. We did lose about a quarter of the field, but it was absolutely cutthroat up the top. There was a lot of punch and counter punch going on. It was Kota. It was what do you expect? It was absolutely superb. Loved it. You missed a cracker, Mr. Ritchie, but it is great to have Birmingham's finest back in the box.
Well, I suppose that being Birmingham's finest is one thing. I wouldn't say it's that much, but I'll take it.
Back in the box, so we'll take it.
Yeah, but just looking at the standings, we can have them on our screen. We haven't got the usual graphic as usual, we've just got the spreadsheet. So we can see that Leo Lund is leading them away by 3 points to Lefted in second position. Then we got JSD 7 points back on 55 points. So 7 points separated in the top three. Then we've got Kean Goendorp in fourth position. He's only 15 points back. So going into the fifth round, going into the sixth round, we got 4 drivers separated by pretty much a podium, which I think this season still is going to get more and more crazy as it goes on. We can see further back, we can see likes of Tony, Joris, Bogdan, Leroy, Sabrino and Andres all being separated by no more than 8 points. So we've still got a giant battle for fourth, which could eventually, depending on what happens today, evolve in that battle for the top 3, top 4 in the championship. Further back, we can still see the gap between Kodorn, Jack and Lenny. 3 points separating the 2 drivers. So still, this championship in multiple places has so many things left to play for. We can see the constructors on our screen as well, where we can see that it's currently Haas leading them away on 92 points. So not as close here. They've got a 23-point gap to Aston Martin, who are sitting in second. Then we've got McLaren in third. They're about 10 points back from Aston Martin. We've got Red Bull sitting 1 point back from them. So very... a big battle going on for P3 in the standings. And we can see further back, we got Mercedes, Ferrari, Williams and Alpine all separated by 4 points. So lots to play for that 5th position in the standings. And further back, we can see it's going to be Alpine. A little bit of no man, that we've got Alfa Romeo, a little bit no man's land compared to the top 8, but they've got AlphaTauri sitting right behind on only 17 points. And I think so far this season's going brilliantly. I think possibly one of the best we've had. I've been here since I think it was the end of season 13. I'd say it's so far the best championship we've had so far. But I'm not going to jinx it because we don't know what's going to happen. Maybe for the next 5 races, Leo Lund wins all of them. We don't have a clue. But I think either way, it's not going to be that possible that I think anyone wins multiple races this season, because at the moment we've had 5 different winners in 5 different races. We've had Leo Lund, Kean Goendorp, Lefted, Leo again, so he's won 2. And then we got Sabrino, who won last week in Las Vegas. So still, pace seeming to differ between circuits for all the drivers.
True enough. But we've got a wide range of circuits as well. You haven't just got power circuits or twisty circuits. So, of course, here in Singapore, it's Mexico, Portugal, Spa. Everybody loves Spa. Then Austria, really looking forward to that. Then China. Again, we spoke about the Canada right at the beginning of the season. China, such an underrated circuit. And then a sprint round again, Mexico. So, it's such a great variety of circuits. But yeah, like you say, only twice have we seen a repeat winner. That, of course, being our championship leader, but by such a narrow margin. Leo Lund actually taking over the... was Lefted for a while, and Leo has taken over the championship lead. Lefted had a great start to the season, but the last 2 rounds, both the American rounds, have been shocking for Lefted, only taking a single point away from either of them. So maybe a change of continent will get Lefted back to winning ways, but who knows? Yeah, we had JST, who's seen the podium in both American rounds. Can he find that win? Can he get another podium again?
Well, it's like... it's like what we said with Leo. Leo wasn't at the start. He got between Britain and Monaco. He scored 4 points, and I was saying at that point, oh, maybe that championship fight isn't there because he completely dropped off. But then again, it seems like different drivers are having that. Like Keane, for example, scored no points back in Texas. Yoris as well scored no points. Those drivers we've seen in the points consistently. JSD, I think, looking at the graphic, apart from the DNF he suffered back in Monaco, he's been the most consistent. 4th, 5th, 2nd, and 3rd. So we'll see if today is his opportunity to try and take a victory here this season. But Singapore, if you get pole, you're most likely going to win it, unless someone has a really, really good mastermind strategy. But we can see the qualifying session begin. It is dry, so for many drivers that is a very good moment. And we can see all the drivers on the circuit. Right, we've got 3 results today. We've got Liam Stevens, Gabriel Quintino, and Wilson Hall. Always for Williams, Alfa Romeo, and Mercedes. And we'll see shortly all the cars head out onto track. Now, I don't remember who took victory last week in Texas.
Sergio Sobrino.
Sergio Sobrino. Oh, that was
Sergio Sobrino turned up and stormed it. Of course, Sergio being a reserve, so we did see him in Bahrain and also Monaco. Didn't score points in either of them, and then just absolutely turned up at Texas. Absolutely superb stuff. But it was just an all-out scrap. It wasn't a runaway victory by any stretch. And look how many people are coming out really quickly. Oh my goodness! A lot of the field are just are not just biding their time. All too often we see people just sit back. And we did for I think a little while in Kota. We didn't see an awful lot of action straight away. And then suddenly the field just came alive. But here, everyone, bar 2 cars, have remained in the pit lane. My goodness me. That's a curious one that, unless it's suddenly about to rain, which is not impossible in Singapore, I'm surprised to see so many people come out at once. I wonder if this is because there's less confidence in Singapore, or there's more confidence to spin it in Singapore than there was in Kota. It's difficult to hit the wall in Texas because the walls are a long way away from the track for the most part, but here the walls are wait with open arms.
Yeah, well, it is quite surprising to see why they've all gone out so early, but I'm sure we'll find out exactly why they've gone out so early. But that's 18 drivers.
The Asper of Bogdan Moldovan and Leo Lund have been side by side for about half the lap. What are they doing?
Well, they are. Well, they're both at ET8 together, so I'm presuming they're together and they're not just messing. Well, hopefully they're not doing anything intentional and messing each other over. And there we are. Leo's just shot past, goodbye, Bogdan. It was fun sitting with you, but now I'm off. And you got Leroy Brown, who will be leading them away. So begin the first lap of the qualifying session here at Singapore. 15 minutes left to go in this session. Also got the 18-minute qualifying session as per usual. And Leroy Brown will lead them away through to the final corner down towards turn number 1. We'll see what he can do on this opening lap of the session. You can see flat out into 8th gear, down in towards that first braking zone. Throw the car in, try not to invalidate your lap as you go through these first 3 corners. Then you'll head down towards turn 4. Bit of a kink to the left before you hit turn 5 at the right-hander. It's very easy to lose her here and hit that wall on the inside as you come through. And very nice job there from Leroy Brown, not hitting the wall, getting a nice one on the exit of that corner. Down towards Memorial Corner at turn 7, where you'll head into brakes. And around that 100-metre to 50-metre board, you can see just throws the car in, using those curves, trying not to beach the car on the curves as you come through. Down towards turn 8, and then back to the left at turn number 9. A very slow speed section of this circuit. This is you'll hug it to the inside, keep it in that 4th gear, get back in the power nice and early, down towards what used to be the Singapore Sling section of the circuit. Still call that now, but nowhere near what it used to be like back in the old days. You come through now under the bridge in towards the very horrible hairpin where we see many people hit that inside on the entry and get rid of their front right tyre. Now down towards turn number 14 will Leroy Brown take. We can see he's going to be the first one to set a lap time, and he's been all set for 102.960 there for the Mercedes driver so far. We'll see what that ends up at the end of the lap. He comes through now into what used to be a whole 3rd sector, which had a lot more turns than it does now. Now it's just 1 turn, then towards turn 16, which I believe used to be like turn 19 around this circuit. Through that chicane, through and towards the final 2 corners at turn 18 and turn 19. We'll see what can Mercedes put for the first lap of the session. Through towards the line, a 1 minute 27.552.
And that is the opening gambit then. We'll see what everyone else has to say about that. 27.9 from Bogdan Moldovan, a 27.8 from Reyes Imtiaz. Come on, everybody else, what have you got? 27.579, flirting with the top spot from JST, who was King Goendorp, 27.7. So again, we're seeing very close banker laps going on. 28.2 from Elliot Naren. There's definitely improvement to be found there. Joris Crutzen at 27.6. Liam Stevens at 27.7. Jack Humphreys to the top with a 27.5. I saw someone in chat or in Discord, one of the drivers, say that Pole was going to be something like 26.8 or something like that. So the benchmark certainly been said. Tony Richet, a 27.4. So you always expect these first laps to be to be the banker laps. This much we know, that is standard practice. Still quite a few drivers without a lap time. So quite a few invalidations then. There are several places, believe it or not, you can invalidate the lap here in Singapore. There's dark side less in Monaco, I grant you, but there are several places where you can overcook it. But yeah, that's a surprise that there are so many without time. Tom Martinez, 27, another 27.7 on the board. So yeah, as we come to expect, it could well be very, very close by the time the checkered flag falls.
Yeah, we've got Tony Richet on pole position at the moment. I think it's his first time he's been at the top in this season. He's currently sitting fifth in the standings, 30 points back from Leo Lund, so maybe we could see him try and take a bit of a victory here tonight, or try and get himself in the top through. The pace so far looking good with that 1 minute 27.472, about half a tenth clear of Jack Humphreys, also in that top two. We haven't seen him near the front for a long time this season. Also, I've noticed there, looking at the abbreviation on the left of his name, Vroom. I didn't realise Jack Humphreys joined Vroom. Well, I guess he did. So congratulations to Jack Humphreys. I didn't realise he joined a new team. I know he's part of Intrepid before they unfortunately shut down, but I wasn't aware that he joined a new team. So congratulations to Jack Humphreys. We've got Yone Dovzan in that top six there. Very nice to see him back on form with a 1 minute 27.72 for 5 thousandths clear of Keen Goendorp, who I expect to be a lot higher than 7th. Keen, we know, has been one of the quickest in quali, so being down in 7th is not normally where we see him after those first couple laps. Exavox invalidated on his run, so hasn't got a lap time on the board just yet. We've got Ryan Grob on a lap along with Wilson Hall. They're on out laps so far in this session. Leo Lund didn't get a lap time on the first part along with Lefty, Mark and Xbox, and well, Leo and Lefty are the top two in the standings, so realistically, they need lap times on the board. They can't really afford to go into the last part of the session without a lap, because that puts so much pressure on you to perform in those final moments. Drivers tend to overdo it at that point because there's so much going through your head. You need to get that lap, you need to get a lap, you get the first sector, oh, it's not good. So you push too hard for the second and third, and your lap's done because you've overcut your tyres, you might have pushed too hard, you've gone deep, anything can happen. When you're under that much pressure, so obviously they need to get themselves a lap, I think, before the final runs. Get a second, get back in it, get back out straight away, get your first run in, and then you can go into your final run with a little bit less pressure. We've got Ryan Gromberg just coming through in towards turn 3 on his opening lap.
Yeah, but he's timed it perfectly, hasn't he? Because everybody else is back in the pits, and Leroy Brown is already straight back out. So with a half decent 27.5, if 26.8 is the benchmark, that's obviously time fine for everybody. But I'm stunned, and I'm watching the mini map, and lots of people are finding back out again. So this makes me think there's not a lot of confidence in people's thoughts on this track. And I wonder if they're kind of thinking the same way you are, that qualifying is everything in Singapore, because overtaking opportunities are not plentiful. Granted, yes, but they're not impossible. So, but then I'm not a driver. You wouldn't want to be racing against me. You'll have me last and lap before too long anyway. So it's safer for everybody concerned that I am in the commentary box. That said, I'm still just surprised that there's just this constant flow of qualifying laps. If the weather was changing, if it was wet, yes, I could perfectly understand that, especially at Singapore. So speaking of, does anybody know what the weather is going to do in the race? Well, judging it right now may be fairly academic, because of course if we have to reset the lobby, the weather is going to change anyway, and that's another 27.7, this time by Ryan Grob.
Yep, nice up the time there from the Swiss driver. Let's see, he's put himself into that top 8 just ahead of Gabriel Quintino, who's making his second appearance, I believe, here this season after finishing. I think it was in that top 5 back in Monaco. It was a very good result for him. Either way, we can see Wilson Hall coming through now in towards the end of that first section towards turn number 13. I didn't also realise that he joined TES either. I didn't know he was at that team. So since I've been gone last week, there's been many surprise changes with different teams because I didn't know Jack was in VRM and I didn't know that Wilson was in Thomas Jang Sim Racing. Either that or I've been a little bit blind for the past 2 weeks and haven't noticed it. But Wilson all now heading down in towards turn 16 to finish his first lap. Has got it valid at this point of time, in towards turn 16, in towards that chicane. Just throw the car and get it back on the power out the exit at turn 17, in towards the final two corners, up towards the line. What will it be for Wilson Hall? Will it be a top 10? It will be just outside that top 10 with a 1 minute 27.757. Pops himself into 11th position. We got Lefted as well on a run at the moment. I think Leonardo's a little bit further ahead, yes, so we'll go on board with our championship leader on 63 points so far. He's got a 3-point gap to Lefted. He's got a 7-point gap to JSD. He needs to get a decent lap. He needs to put himself ahead of Jay, I think, pretty much in this session. Jay's currently in that top 4. Probably going to be on an improvement as Elliott gets the first 5 players grid penalty. Well, Chris, I think we knew that was going to happen, and unfortunately, Elliott is the one who gives it us.
Oh dear. Well, yeah, it's almost inevitable, isn't it, that someone triggers it. But hey ho, we're used to this process by now, so we shouldn't be surprised. So yeah, Wilson Hall, like you say, 27.7 on the board for him. Tony Richey still at the top with a 27.4. Oh, never mind. Before the words had even left my mouth, Leroy Brown returns to the top of the field with a 27.405 in the Mercedes. Certainly, he's got plenty of enough time for at least one more run. So we'll see what he is able to do. Joris Crutzen at 27.1. Now, that's a little bit more like it, creeping more towards the 26s that was cited earlier on. Joris Crutzen didn't score points last time out, was on the podium for round 4. So knows how to score well, but again, like a few people have had a somewhat inconsistent season thus far here in WOR. JST with a 27.2, King going up with a 27.3. So Leroy had the top spot briefly. Jack Humphreys at 27.3 as well on the board. Who else is going to be setting a time? Keep an eye on the board. That is... I didn't see who that was.
Race Imtiaz into the top 6 of the 464. Then we got Xbox into 9th with a 27.5. It's our first time I think we've seen him properly in the top 10 this season. Xbox has just had a poor season all season long, so hopefully he can get himself some points tonight here in round 6 at Singapore. Yuna Dovsan just jumps Liam Stevens to pop himself into that top 10 there on that 5.28. Gabriel Quintino, I think there, popping himself into 12th position over the line. We've got a few more cars coming through. I don't know if anyone's on a hot lap. Maybe Mark Schluter is. He's currently in 19th position on the grid. Hasn't got a lap time just yet. A 103.3 in the middle set, so I think he might be on a lap time. It might not be the best, but a lap time is a lap time on the board. Leo Lund, as we said, didn't get a first run in. He didn't get his second run in. He made a mistake in the final few corners, and he had to dive back into the pits. So Leo Lund, yet again, like what we saw, I believe it's back in Great Britain, just hasn't got his, hasn't got it off the ground running at all, and just really not failing, but just nothing's going well at all. As you can see, Mark there only a 27.9, popping himself just into 18th position. But Leo Lund, he needs some points. Left it in the top 8, he will score at least 4 points. Then we've got JSC in the top 2. We've got Joris as well in first. He's only 33 points back. So if he gets a win, he will put himself right behind Leo. Then we've also got lots of Keane also in a decent position. So, we've got 4 very competitive drivers in that top 5 at the moment. So, he needs to get something on the board ASAP. He can't afford to mess around. He can't afford to make mistakes. Even if he gets a time that's 2/10 off what his normal time would be, he could still see himself in that top 11, top 12. So, I don't know what's going wrong for Leo. We'll go on board him when his lap starts and we can kind of see and pinpoint what maybe the issues are. As we can see, Ryan Grubbs on a lap. He's, just about to start a lap, actually. He's just heading down in towards turn number 16 to begin his second run of the session. He's currently in that top 14. We've seen Ryan set quite a few decent points. Well, I would say quite a few decent points of where he is, but he has been consistently in that top 9, top 10 this season. He's heading down towards turn 1. Chris, give us a bit of a hot lap with Ryan Grubb.
With Ryan Grubb, right, where is he? He is just coming through. Shears corner 1, 2, 3. Gets the apex on the left-hand side. Gets a little bit uncomfortable on the turn exit, though. And that's invalid already. So that has already gone wrong for the Swedish driver, the Swiss occupant. And he said they're the Swiss national. Occupant. So that's gone wrong for him already. So should we stay with Leo then? Is he's about to start his lap? His next attempt at a lap time. What can he do then? Rides the line up towards the same spot we've just seen. 1, 2, 3 in short succession. Bit more settled on the exit than we saw certainly from previous drivers. Kisses the apex coming through turn 5, flirts with the wall, as you have to do. Every pixel you have to use, and it's very much risk versus reward as he weaves his way through a couple of cars that are on the next outlap. Again, everybody just streaming straight back out to get the laps in. So, through 10, 11. No, beg your pardon, he's not even there yet. 7, 8, 9. Now, the short run down towards turn 10, down to 4th, ride over the curbs, and then work your way through this section, 10 through to 13. Just corner after corner after corner, relentless assault of turns. Now it is as much of a straight as you ever get here in Singapore. Back down through the gearbox for turn 14. Use as much of the rumble strip as you dare. And then through 15, now the longer stretch, which I personally prefer, rather than the twisty section that we used to have here, each to their own. 16, 17, keep the car steady, keep it away out of the wall. And then through 18, 19, just a slight lift. And that is going to be a 27-2 for our championship leader.
Wow. The pressure was gone, it seems. He didn't suffer at all in that lap there. A brilliant lap time from our championship leader that just pops himself ahead of Kean Gondorp. We got Wilson Hall into the pit, so won't be setting another lap time here at the moment in this session. We've got a few drivers on 8 laps. Well, pretty much everyone on 8 laps. We got Tom 97. He's heading down towards turn 16. I believe the first one starting lap, though, Chris, will be JS. He's just heading down in towards that first corner. We'll see if you can find an improvement on his lap. Currently about half a tenth off of Joris's time in this session so far. Just about half a tenth clear of Leo London. I don't think Leo will get another lap in this session. So Leo's, I think, done and dusted so far for qualifying. So it will be down to see what those behind can do. If they can match or beat Leo Lund's time in qualifying, it could knock him down possibly to 6th, 7th or even 8th. You don't know what improvements the drivers have got on the circuit. So JSD heading down towards turn 7. Only 16 thousandths down, so he's still got the second and third sets to go, where I'd say you probably find more time than in the first set. So it's not over for him just yet on this lap. So coming through towards turn 9, then you'll head down a bit of a straight in towards turns 10, 11 through to 12, and we'll see if you can get a nice just hop over the curb, back on the power, just coast the car through. Don't get too power heavy through these corners. Try not to hit the walls. You can head under the bridge in towards the hairpin. So the car in, get that apex nicely, get back on the power as early as possible. Decent there from JS. You're heading down now in towards turn 14. At the right hand, you want to brake just before that 50 metre board. Coast the car in down to third gear, get back on the power down towards turn 16. We'll see what he can do through here. A few cars just get, I think, getting out the way. I think it's one of the Hasses, that will be Leo Lund, just moving out the way for JS. He heads in towards this final chicane on this circuit. Just throw the car in a little bit deep, I think, there from the McLaren through in towards turns 18 and 19. Can he find any improvements on this lap? Can he put himself onto pole position? JS through to the line. No, he can't. He was down by 4 thousandths of a second. So then we got, I think, Joris on lap time. Yes, we have. We got, just trying to find who's coming through. King going up down in that middle set, so he's not finding much of an improvement on his lap as he's heading through in towards the final corner, in towards turn number 18 and 19. Can he find an improvement? Turn Chase crashed and King doesn't make it to line. He also has a bit of an incident at the final corner. We've got Jack Humphries that invalidated. Leo Brown, can he find an improvement to take pole? No, he can't, but he will take that P4 position. We've got Racing Taz as well. He's heading through. Purple in that middle sector. He's currently 68 thousandths up on his previous middle sector time. I don't think we'll see Joris finding improvements. He goes to line. I don't think he did. No, we didn't. So we'll keep on board with racers. That was Yune Dovstan into the top 7 there with a 1 minute 27.424. Racing Taz into the final quarters. Can he try and take pole position away as Exafox into the top 5? Racing Taz into the top 6. Brilliant lap time there from the Red Bull driver. That was Liam Stevens into that top 8 there. Brilliant lap time from him. We've got Tom 97. He's 10 seconds there, so he's made a mistake already on his lap time. We've got Mark Suter up by just half a tenth of a second on his lap at the moment, so we'll see what can he do in the remainder of this lap. Just about 4 more corners left to go as Gabriel Quintino went to the pits, lefted, only finishing in 12th position, so out the points in qualifying for the Aston Martin. Mark Suter up to line. Can he find an improvement? Only P19 for him. What about Elliott? Currently on a 28.2. He's not found an improvement either on his lap. So what about Ryan Grubb? Can he find anything? He's still got half battery, so I believe he's still on a lap so far in this session. So we'll keep on board with him for now as he heads down in towards the hairpin. Not trying not to get blocked. He does get blocked by a Red Bull. He gets blocked by Kean Condorp, and that has ruined Ryan's lap. Big shame there for the AlphaTauri. And what about Bogdan? He's not on improvements either. Well, that was an ending, wasn't it?
It was a very messy ending for a lot of people. Oh, goodness me. Joris Kreutzen was not happy. He came over the line and kind of shook the steering wheel, but it looks like he's going to be pole nonetheless following his arrival on, it was Tony Richet's somewhat ruined Ferrari. Yeah, Elliot Naren had invalidated his final lap early on. I think it was fairly academic because he got caught up behind traffic anyway. Oh my, oh my. So, bit of a scrappy end to the qualifying session, but Joris Kreutzen and JST will be taking your front row this time around.
It's raining.
That's why we had a constant flow of traffic, because the rain was imminent. I wondered if that was going to be one of the factors. So, what is the session going to move on to? I don't know if that's used. If we have a session restart, does what the weather was going to be play a factor in it? I genuinely don't know that.
I can't remember. That's the only sense for me.
I go through the transition because I'm curious more than anything else. So, yeah, that's why we saw... there probably was an element of people not being very confident around Singapore because it will bite, as was proven several times over. But, yes, they were avoiding the rain.
Mm-hmm. Which, well, obviously came a little bit late. And now it understands why people were completing their final laps with a minute and a half left to go in the session. But Exavox, in the top 5 for his first time in this season, is just about a tenth and a half away from pole position. Finally, nice to see him get himself into a decent position. We'll see if he can try and get some well-earned points in the race here at Singapore. As we can see, we'll have a lobby restart because of the 5-place grid penalty that Elliot Noren got on his first run. We don't normally see the penalties come through that early, but he got one at the start of the session. We can now see the session commence. Liam Stevens, we can see on our screen for some reason. He decided to show us the Mercedes. He's in 8th position, going in towards the race. It'll be Joris on pole position ahead of JSD in 2nd. He's had 2 podiums in the past 2 races, so looking good for him. Ahead of Leo Lund in 3rd, Leo Brown in the top 4, and Exafox running at the top 5. The 2 Red Bulls sitting 6th and 7th. Then we've got Liam Stevens 8th, Jack Humphries 9th, and Yune Dovson in that top 10. Then Tony Roche only qualifying on his bank lap. He will finish in 11th position ahead of Lefty, Gabriel Quintino, Bogdan Moldovan, Ryan Grubb, Wilson Hall, Tom 97, Ivan Santamaria, Mark Shooter, and Elliot Noren. And Elliot, a disappointing session, a second off from that pole position time in Tier 2. A second is quite a lot.
Yeah, that is quite a big gap. Isn't it ironic that Elliot Wren is the one that ended up with the penalty and he'd be starting last anyway? So it actually wouldn't cancel out, but rules are rules. And I can confirm that we transited into the race with no rain falling. So the question is actually being asked already in the drivers' chat, but some drivers have already left. So either way, I think we should still go through the restart process as... we have had a lobby migrate. We don't want to be having issues because of that. But standard procedure is, if you have that penalty, it is. There we go. Now, rest of the drivers now beginning to leave. If you have that penalty, you do need to restart the process anyway. Hey ho! It is what the rules say.
Indeed, and well, we will be migrating host, so we'll have a lobby restart. And currently, myself, I'm not happy. I just looked at the football results, and well, we're currently losing to Leicester City. So no, not very happy at all. But it seems like it was a good game. Chris doesn't care; he doesn't like football, but I want to speak about it. Yeah, we had 3 goals in 21 minutes, 2-1 to Leicester to Birmingham. So come on, Blues, come on, get us a victory, get us some 3 points on the board. But yes, enough about football. More about yes, Jay left. That's why we got the restart. Otherwise, we wouldn't have had one. But because Jay left, it was like, oh, restart. So yes, we're going to be having a new lobby. Something we didn't really want to happen, but it is what it is. So we're going to get ourselves back in. We're going to just see if the lobby's open. The lobby is open, so we will commence very shortly, probably in about 5 minutes' time, as we all know. It's nothing new, is it, other than lobby restarts? I think every race this season, apart from one, we've had a restart after qualifying. I think there was one race, wasn't it, where we was surprised because we didn't have a restart. Shut up, Liam.
Yes.
I saw that comment.
I haven't actually got chat open, and I forgot to open it.
What a dead cut. Liam, I agree, but I need it to grow back, and then it's fine. Once it grows back, it's all right. But at the start, it always looks a bit boring. Also, Luke says that there is going to be a dry race.
Yeah.
So no rain.
We did transit into a dry race. I can confirm that. It's funny you talk about haircuts. At least you have hair. I don't have a lot of hair. I have a sunroof growing in the back of my head and a big old slap it on the front.
You do make a very good point, I suppose.
But then I am old, so it makes sense that I'm going bald. What things we talk about in lobby rebuild times?
Well, anything and everything, isn't it? Every time we have a lobby restart, we just end up going on about random things. I'd love at the end of the season to look back at the things we talked about and write a list and just see all the different things that we spoke about, because we'd have the most random comments and the most random topics ever. As Christian, Mr. Block of Cheese, says, "Where is my shout out, my favourite Birmingham commentator?" Well, hello, Christian. Welcome in. Nice to see you in here. You get a shout out. Veloce Academy engineer, manager, I can't remember. Liam says, "Got that vector from..." Don't you dare, Liam. Don't go there, please. And then Gareth says, "I was about to say the same about myself, Chris." What was that regarding?
Probably about my hair.
Oh, are you both bald?
I don't know. Who was it that made the comment?
Gareth.
I don't know.
Oh.
It was either going to be about hair or football. It was going to be one of the two.
Well, one of them. Indeed, and Liam says, "Love you." Well, Liam, the feelings aren't virtual. Is it virtual? No, what's the word? Mutual. There we are.
They are virtual, as in they're not mutual. So
there we are. First butcher of the stream, but because see, I had the right lines of the word, but no,
you were nowhere near
mutual.
it.
There we are. No, it ended in "you all."
Oh, well done. well done. Your grasp of the English language is phenomenal.
Well, there we are. And I'm English. That's the worst part about it. I can't even speak my own language.
Yeah, but we English butcher our own language by kind of default, don't we?
See, it comes to something when I spend a lot of times in VC with people from Netherlands, Belgium, Poland, Czech Republic, and well, they all speak English better than me. There's been times where I've been corrected by people from different countries that don't speak English as their first language, correcting me on the words. I'm like, great, isn't this amazing? And I could say I've been corrected by Welsh people, but I don't want to get into that argument about Welsh aren't as good as the English. Otis Lawrence will be one to disagree with me on that one.
I should be very careful giving you grief anyway following the weekend.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Don't worry. I'll have something in the limelight ready after you.
That will need context, as otherwise chat's going to go mad over that.
Yeah. What? Oh. Yeah. I got forced to sing "Let It Go" and "Bob the Builder" on a charity stream. Not
by me, as much as
well. Actually,
Richie
your donation was the reason why I had to sing, because it was over 1,000 and you got it. That's what you said to me.
Wasn't.
You said it was your donation.
No, my donation was the one that pushed it over £1,000. There were donations that followed it, so it would have happened anyway. It just, I thought this is going to give us a great talking point, so I got the card out and gave a donation to push. Yeah. For those not knowing what on earth we're talking about, the 24 Hours of F1 was over the weekend. It was a great honour and a pleasure to be part of the commentary team, and we did hit the donation target for it, which is absolutely brilliant. But poor Mr. Why you? I don't know.
Twice, not once.
Twice, indeed. Got. And
I said I'm going to make it 3 next year.
Was told to sing, and why the songs were chosen that they were, again, I can't comment. I have no idea.
Well, Joseph picked Bob the Builder. I knew he was going to pick something stupid because it's Joseph. If he gets a chance to humiliate me, he will. And Gareth says in the chat, English is just French spoken, sadly. What do you mean? I know we have a lot of French words in our language, and the funny thing is, some of my favourite words are French words. I love the word rendezvous. Don't know why. Love it. And then we've got the Moulin Rouge. Love that word as well. I believe it's some weird club in America, but I love that name. I don't know what it is.
Moldy Rug.
Is it Moldy Rug?
That's a stupid way of saying Moulin Rouge. Moldy Rug.
If you'd like to see the singing, if you go onto Twitter, you'll find it.
You'll find
And
it.
if not, I'm sure someone will find a way of getting it to you. It was put in PSGL WR chat multiple times by Elliot himself, who was in the session starting last. So I'm glad he started at the back for humiliating me in front of a Discord, which has got what 30,000 members or something stupid like that.
Your fame grows, Richie.
No, it's not really famous when I was going to get bullied.
I do have a slight counter to this because you insinuated that I should sing either instead of or with you on the first round, if you recall, just as I was taking my first stint.
Yeah, I did. Because she was in the waiting room. I wanted to give you a bit of excitement, something to look forward to.
I had the race to look forward to. It was a cracking race. I thoroughly enjoyed the races I got to cover.
It was brilliant. Yeah. And the first race, there was a 22,000th gap between first, second, and third, and Jess's internet died. So we didn't see it on stream. It was I was watching it. I was commentating it. I ended up commentating, even knowing I wasn't live. It was that good at the end. It was literally 3 across the line, and at one point, because it was 2,000 separating the top two, it took a time for it to actually calculate. So it was just like lines, right? 3 seconds. I'm thinking, no way they've crossed the line, being literally 0.000 of a second, but then it updated to 0.002. As Christian says, I will teach you Dutch next time. Yes, I need to learn Dutch because I'm going back to going back to Belgium next August for the Truck Fest at Zolder, which is brilliant as it was last year, and also might make a visit to some Dutch friends in the April-May time. I might try and have a bit of a visit over because it comes to something when all my friends are pretty much Dutch. I'd say 60% are Dutch. I don't know why, but they are, and it's not just from this this community either. I used to race. I used to drive on the Euro Truck Simulator community way back in 2020, 2019, and well, the people I drive with on there, people I still speak to every day, are all Dutch and Belgian. Don't know what it is, but they love me. Either that, or they're just stuck with me. One of the two.
It's not difficult to love you, Mr. Ritchie. It's not difficult to love you at all.
Well,
but let's come back to the topic at hand. We're counting down.
Yes, 8 seconds to go. We'll move to the main screen so you can see it all start to commence. 3, 2, 1, and there we are. After time and time of speaking, we are going to head into the session for the 31 laps of the Singapore Grand Prix, which I'm both excited and not excited for, because the race itself will probably be quite boring, but the strategy is what's going to be the most entertaining part. Seeing people pit a lap later and come out maybe, I don't know, 3 seconds behind. We've seen that happen before. Well, maybe not a lap, but maybe like 3 or 4 laps, and we'll see them come out 3, 4 seconds behind, and then we're like, oh, they're going to try and fight back. They close up, and then we either have a really good battle, or they just sit there and just chill behind. I'm like, come on, make a sense. You're 2 tenths behind in towards the braking zone. Go for it. And no, they never do. But, Chris, I'm going to give you the luxury of starting us off here at Singapore.
Oh, you are very, very kind.
Enjoy.
That's
all I'm going to say.
We've still got some seconds to go because now's the time, of course, that our drivers change their setups and make any changes that they want to make. Of course, not park firmly because we haven't loaded from a qualifying session. So everybody now has to get the setups right, etc., etc. So we do have some more waffling to do. Where was... I've forgotten what the venue was that your first race was for the 24 hours.
Saudi Arabia, Jeddah Corniche
yes, Jeddah, yes. And the stream came up perfectly to see.
Did it?
3 wide over the line. But it came up like a second before they crossed. So you had enough time to pause the stream and take a snapshot. Yeah. But there was no way you knew that. It was such a shame that you had this, and then ironically it was this race, wasn't it? It was Singapore that got red flagged.
Yep.
So you and Singapore are cursed. What are we going to find? Are we going to find like detonation into turn 1? We're about to find out. Lights, come on, we know the process. It is time to wind them up and to let them go. Now, who is going to be bravest on the brakes and who is going to suffer the fate? Down to turn one, side by side. JST's had a good start, but Joris Kreuzer with the momentum keeps hold of the lead. Now, further back, has everybody managed to survive? It looks like everybody has, so far at least. Always famous last words, certainly from a commentator. Lots of adjusting going on, still side by side as they're coming through. Time 5 and there's trouble in the back. Oh, my goodness me, the Bogdan Moldovan has gone round. As Elliot Red flown through the middle of this part of the waves.
Well, I don't know what happened there, but something happened. We can see Tom 97 named to 13th position. We've got Lefted as well on the medium tyres. Everyone else on the hard. So a different strategy there from the Aston Martin. We'll see what he can do in terms of making himself up through the field. He's in that top 10 now. Just got himself ahead of Jack on his Antonio Roche, who's down in 11th and 12th. And we can see further up, Liam Stevens looking for a move on Race Imtiaz in towards turn number 10. We'll see if he can find a way past the Red Bull. One of two Red Bulls as Keane Gondorp's got himself back up into 6th position in this race after a bit of a poor start down towards turn 1. So was Joris's poor start. The first phase of that start was really bad for Joris, but he got it back in towards turn 2 and hung it round the outside and did keep himself ahead of JC, who's still running in that top 2 ahead of Leo Lund, Leroy Brown and X-Fox. So the top 5 haven't changed since lap 1. They've been the same all the way through this opening lap, so we'll see if it does change in this race. I'm hoping it does at least once between someone. Please make a position change in that top 5. We can see further back, still we've got Lefty trying to close in on the back of Yone Dovson, who's in that top 9. Done a decent job this season so far, as the, I believe he's from Slovakia. I don't know why, but I believe he is. So if he is, then well, if he's not, I'm sorry, but if he is, the Slovakian driver's doing a great job in that top 9. Liam Stevens still in the top 8. We'll see if he can make any moves in this race as Ryan Grob into the pit, so he must have suffered wing damage along with Ivan Santamaria as well on that opening lap. Big shame for those two. I was hyping up Ryan going into this race, and we even hyped him up in DMs between the two as well. Yes, not going to happen.
Sadly not. Soft tyres for Ivan Santamaria. You're hopeful. Well, I suspect that's a mistake. So we'll be seeing the Alpine back into the pits. The second, actually, the whole field is bookended by Alpines. I just realised one in the front and one in the back. Yeah, Ryan Grob came into the pits with missing his entire front wing, so his start going catastrophically wrong. Bogdan Moldovan was spun on the first lap, but everybody else in the DRS train, a curious decision there by Lefted. He's gone for the medium tyres, so he's hoping to stretch those a very, very long way. I must imagine when the start of the race happened and he realised he was the only one on the medium tyre, it's like you're the only one at a party that's appeared in fancy dress. Have you done it wrong, perhaps? Well, we will see as the race unfolds. He needs to be making the moves pretty quickly. He's up 2 from where he began, but the biggest gainer by far, Elliot Naren, just as soon as Bogdan spun, he got the Williams right into the middle and just ploughed his way through the whole back pack. It was really quite incredible to see. Leo Lund with the fastest lap. DRS now enabled for our drivers, but who is going to be making those moves? I think you may be right to a point, Richie, where we'll see the kind of strategic race this time around, with everybody on the same brand of tyre, or mostly, of course. But we will see. We will see what people have in mind. I can only assume that must be a mistake from Ivan Santamaria, or he knows something that no one else does.
Yeah, either he presumes it could range shortly, or he's going to hope for a safety car maybe. If he can try and catch up and a safety car comes soon, possibly he could try and make some work of that, but I don't think it's possible, so maybe it could have just been a bit of a mistake there for Ivan Santamaria. Unfortunately, on the opening start of this race, just not been too good. I don't think he's scored a point at all this season. No, he's not. He's been there for the first 3 rounds, scored no points, and has missed rounds 4 and 5. So, yet again, looking like another pointless round here for Ivan Santamaria, both in terms of actual points scored and also in terms of the actual use of him being here in the race, because it's just not gone well. Nothing's going well. We know he's quick. I've seen him multiple times in league racing, but this season here at WOR, just nothing has worked to his play at all. Everything's gone wrong. Everything's gone against his luck in this championship so far. As we can see, the lead possibly changed hands. No, it won't seal game, but not enough for JSD to try and take the lead ahead of Joris Kreuzer as they head down in towards turn 16 and 17 to shortly end lap 3 and begin lap 4. Leo Lund also doing a great job on the back of JSD. We'll see if he can try and find a way through towards second position to take away that spot from JSD. So he'll fly down in towards turn 1 yet again for lap 4 of 31. Further back, we can still see that Ivan, he's gaining in on Ryan. So is Ryan gaining in on Bogdan, who I'm not sure has got damage because he's still 2.5 seconds back from P17. So maybe he also suffered a bit of minor damage on his cars. We can also see that is Wilson Hall looking to close in on the back of Gabriel Quintino, who's also having a bit of a poor race so far.
do you think we should mandate if you are behind someone, you must attempt to move a lap? That would be an interesting one to mandate. Well, it would be a very hard one to police as well, as JSC has actually taken the lead of the race on the run down towards turn 7. Will be one of the most populous overtakes as well. It's probably turn 16 as well, being the other favourite, being that they are at the end of a longer stretch of right foot deployment from our drivers. So JST in the McLaren, looking to add another podium at very least to his tally. Last 2 rounds have been podiums for him. He, of course, would like the top spot to be to the list. Joris Krutzen, currently 6th in the championship. Only 1 podium so far this season, but looking to add to that score here. And Leo Lund, of course, as we've said, has got 2 wins so far, but hasn't been able to consistently score points around those wins. He's looking pretty sharp. That looks like the 2 Red Bulls having a bit of an argument. Well, they didn't swap round, so Kingo and Dalton Reyes Imtiaz getting very, very, very close. Need to work together a little bit, but again, they're in the kind of position of do they or don't they? Because they're in such a long DRS train. They just need to focus on staying close as they can to the car in front at this point in the race.
I think because we've got such a long DRS train, we'll see some drivers pit really early on that undercut to try and get out of that train and get into some free air, just try and push to give themselves a nice advantage once the others come in. I think we will see that with a couple of drivers. I'm not sure quite who, but I think, the fact we've got 14 drivers all in this train, no one's gaining, no one's losing. If anything, you can see they're losing time, because look how quick Ryan's gained in. He's only 31 seconds back off this train now, so he's gained in really quick over these past 2 laps on only one lap newer time, 2 lap newer time. So it's not like he's, super quick. It's just, as you can see, he takes the fast lap with a 1 minute 39.4. It's just that the fact everyone's stuck in a train, he's just pulling in closer and closer. Obviously, it's not enough to make any difference in the race because he's still 30 seconds back. But it shows that pitting early, going into that free air, really will help you in this race to push forward. You can see Bogdan gets himself ahead of Gabriel, who's, yet again, had a bit of a poor start. Earlier on, I saw him be overtaken in towards turn 7, let Wilson haul through, but he also kind of moved out the way and, kind of shook his wheel to kind of left, right. And he slowed in and let Mark Schluter through, and then he dropped back behind. So I'm not sure if he's got some sort of damage or if maybe he's just not got the pace, because you can see he's already dropped a second back from Bogdan in about 2 corners. So it's not going well at all for Gabriel, is it?
He did the exact same thing to Bogdan Moldovan, shook the wheel and let him go. So he's either just not confident of this track, or like you say, some kind of issue, either with his car or his wheel or whatever it is. He's already fallen over a second behind. And in he comes. He's actually coming into the pits. Is Gabriel Quintino. It could also be not too well practiced at this track. He is a reserve for this race, so it could be something to do with that. Is he going to go to mediums to try to go to the end? I wonder. Nope, that's hard. So front wing change? No front wing change. So I'm lost for words on what's going on for the Alfa Romeo at the moment.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the lead. We can see Joris again gaining in on the back of Jay. But if we talk about the standings yet again, JSC's in 3rd. He's got 7 points to Leo Lund. If he was to take a win here today, that would put him onto that championship lead position, because Lefty only scoring 1 point. He's in the pressure of possibly dropping down to 4th, as Jay's got a chance of taking 1st. So I think this is going to be great for Jay if he can keep it on. But if he can't, still, he's going to be in that close chance if he can finish at least 2nd or 3rd. But Leo, he's always going to be worried, because he's going to be finishing, I think, with the way people are in this race, he's going to be finishing 1st. Because if he drops down even more, he's just going to be under pressure from the likes of Keane, who's also only 15 points back. It's so close, I think, at the moment. Leo's got so much pressure on him, because normally you see the championship leaders being the best, being by far the best. But at the moment, all those in the top 6 are currently performing the best. They're all that close that it's like what we saw back with when we used to have, like in 2012, where we had all the different cars in IRL F1. All the drivers were good, and it was, even though they were on different teams, there was no one that you could say was the best driver, because they was all that good. So that's what we saw, so many mixes of positions in the different races. We saw many people win, get 2nd, 3rd, 4th, because of how good everyone was. That one mistake, losing 1/10, could cost you a race.
Yep, absolutely. So I just saw Liam Stevens get it all wrong going through turns 10, I think it was 10, 11, and 12. He had to actually cut the chicane. So he is pushing a bit. Oh, we've got a challenge there from King Goendorp on Exafox to get the Red Bull getting the inside line coming through turn 7. Still side by side. They come towards 8. Oh, the Exafox trying to hold on. He's going to have to relinquish her, though. Bold move by Kian Goendorp. He's going to have to push now. He's out of DRS range to the top 4. So the Red Bull was not content to just sit there and let the laps go down. It wasn't like Exafox made a mistake. Kian Goendorp decided to floor it and gain their position, which is exactly what he has done. He's just about crept back into DRS range. Oh, well, no, yet. Beg your pardon. No, he hasn't quite. From Leroy Brown. So we know how useful the DRS is, even on when the straights are so short. But at a track like Singapore, you need every advantage you can get. So bold move there from Kian Goendorp. He is burning a lot of the battery to gain up again with the top 4. He's now around 7.5 cents. Should be good. As Reds Imtiaz now has a go at Exafox. Outside line coming through 17, nearly into the wall. But the second Red Bull now makes Exafox days even worse.
Yep, and now we've got Liam Stevens closing in on Exafox as well. Down towards turn number 1. Has Race got the DRS? He hasn't, but luckily no being gained there for Xbox, so he still stays behind, and Liam Stevens now looking to try and get himself through ahead of the Ferrari, who's just been dropped down by the field. It's not like he's losing pace, it's just everyone's just so much quicker at this point. And notice we've got Yuno Dodson also sitting right behind the back of the Ferrari as they head through in towards turn number 5. We'll see, can Liam going to move down this straight? Has a bit of a twitch himself, so he won't. Right, Yuno, can he try and make a way through on Liam? No, he can't either. He's just stuck behind Jack Humphries. Makes his way past Lefty, who's on those mediums. They just haven't worked as also. We've got Tony Richet sending a move there on Lefty in towards turn 7. They go side by side. Lefty back with the inside at turn number 8. Can he keep that move? Tony's going to try and send it round the outside. Inside line at turn 9 for Richet. Can he just send a bit of a dive bomb? He will send it to the inside of Lefty. They make contact. The Lefty round. And oh no! Richet's out of the session. Turner Richet got caught getting out of the session, and safety car on lap 8. And well, I've got to say, I think Richet was at fault. He sent it up the inside when it wasn't really on. Lefty was up the wall, got tapped by Tony, got caught up the wall. His rear went round, got caught on Richet, and then Richet back into the left-hand side. And well, Tony Richet, after what could have been a decent round for the French Ferrari driver, now out of this race. He's left the session in quite anger, and well, I suppose he will be, wouldn't he? He was in the points, and yes, unfortunate there for Richet to not score any points here at Singapore. But now the safety car comes in. Lefty is in a position to pit and actually try and make it possibly work, because I think he can take the hards to the end. I think he can do 20, what is it, 23 laps on the hards. I think it might be possible.
I think that's doable. Yep.
Oh,
in comes race leader. Race leader is in.
They're all in.
Along,
Two Red Bulls
streaming in.
Oh, but they've got to, haven't they?
Well, the Red Bulls are going to double stack, but that's irrelevant. They haven't caught the back of the safety car yet. Anyway, mediums. They're going for the medium tires.
Race has lost 7 positions.
Well, wait till he comes out of the pit here, but has he really lost that many?
12, yeah, because they're double stats.
They say I didn't think it would be that damaging with a double stacking behind the safety car. The whole field, literally the entire field, has all come in. Ryan Grob and Gabriel Quintino haven't actually got to the pit lane entry yet, so they haven't had a chance to pit, along with Ivan Santamaria. But they may as well. So, well, Martinez and Lefted throwing the dice. Well, Lefted had no choice. He had to go onto something other than mediums because he started on the mediums. Yet every single car has come through the pits then on the safety car period. So Lefted and Tom Martinez throwing the dice, but Tom's got to pit again because he already has had mediums. That's the second set of hards, rather.
I'm going to try and get some insight to see if they'll actually make it to the end.
They'll be spongy, I think, but they'll probably do it. But keep an eye on Lefted. He could be in a strong position when those mediums fall away. But Tom is banking on the fact that everyone else is going to have to come in again. Because that's 2 sets of hard. He has to come in again anyway.
So I've spoken to a certain person who's a certain engineer for a certain team. And he's told me that... Yeah, I don't want to say his name because he's gonna. He's in the chat.
No, I
don't like him. Well, I do. I don't. He knows what I'm speaking about. And he says that it's hard to say. So you didn't give me much help at all, sir. It's hard to say. It doesn't really give me much at all, does it? And he says, I doubt it. I'm doing something with so and so driver. So we'll see. And I know who that driver is, and I know what tyre that driver is on. So we'll see what happens. But yes. Well, I'm interested, to say the least, because we got Tom, Lefty, and Ivan on the hard. Brian Grubb on the softs. Now that, will it work? Will it not? That's the question.
Well, he's banking on another safety car, but he's gonna have a hell of a
Oh,
job
wait, who's in
making his way
pits?
from 17.
Someone's pitting again, I saw. Or was it just... No, I'm just blind, sorry. That final corner is such a weird corner, it looks like they're pitting. But, as I was saying, this person told me that if... Oh, Wilson Hall back into pits. If these mediums don't make it to the end, then that makes me think... Is Ryan also going for that 2-stop, like the others?
He's in again.
And then Tom Martinez... Oh, okay. Then Tom Martinez, well, he could potentially go to the end on those hards.
He can't. He started on hards.
Oh.
Tom!
Tom!
That's what I'm saying.
Lefted could go to the end on the hards.
Lefted most certainly can.
Ooh,
But
mediums for
Gabriel
Ryan.
Quintino's in again.
On
Why is he in again?
Mediums. So hards for Wilson. Hello, Keanu. Yes, you are in the wrong chat, because this isn't tier 3, but the race was epic. I'm glad you enjoyed your race, and I saw you was on pole position at the end of the session, so if you took the win, well done indeed. And also, well done on your new venture wherever you're going to, because I did see that tweet earlier about you leaving ABS. So wherever you go, good luck, and I hope it all ends well for you indeed, along with, I think it was Tony and someone else you was departing with. Yes, anyway, well done on that, well, wherever you finished. I presume he won because he said it was epic, and if not, and he finished last, I'll be quite confused to see why you're saying it was epic. But at the moment, this race is going epic for JST, but not so for Gabriel and Ryan. Who are
well, they're going to be. They will, of course, join the back of the pack. The safety car won't come in until the cars have completely bunched up. So it's going to be on when Gabriel Contino, who has a delta to keep to, can't just absolutely floor it. It's something like they have to be within a second and a half of the back of the pack before the safety car finds its own mark, which is somewhere around the end of Sector 2, beginning of Sector 3, which they have long since passed. So the safety car will do another lap. Gabriel Quintino is just coming up to turn 14, so he will most certainly catch the back of the pack. So who do we need to keep an eye on? Tom Martinez has got to come in again. This is his second set of hard tyres. Lefted does not. He's on hard and contrary to everybody else. So he will still have life in his tyres, as everybody else is basically praying that their mediums don't explode. Along with Wilson Hall. He's also gone for a set of hard tyres, and he did. He came through the pits again. So if you look, his lap time, his lap count is one lap less than everybody else. So he could be in an advantageous position depending on when those mediums fall away, or if everybody else needs to pit, which is kind of what we're hedging our bets on at this point in time. So this is, well, you wanted an interesting Singapore and you got it, boy.
Yes, I'm very excited for the end of this. Well, so the next 20 laps. It's not the end yet, but I think the ending will be quite cool.
Yes, that's assuming we don't have safety car after safety car, but unfortunately, safety cars have a bit of a habit of breeding themselves, especially at a track like Singapore. However, we will see. We've been proven wrong before, but Gabriel Coutinho now on the back of the pack. So by the time the safety car soon crosses, it's generally around the end of Sector 2, beginning Sector 3. It's usually around there somewhere, sometimes a little bit later on, but it is generally around that point where the safety car is declared if it's coming in or not.
I don't exactly know where it is, but all I know is that it will come in sometime. It will be on the circuit, yes. It will be in the next lap, and well, I called it perfectly. There we are, safety car's in this lap. So JSC leads from Joris Kroes ahead of Leo Lund in that top 3. Top 4 hasn't changed once. The top 5 top 6 has changed once between Keenan and Exafox. Apart from that, it is the exact same top 5 as it was earlier at the start of this race. Tom 97 in the top 10, but obviously he's going to take another set of tyres along with, I presume, everyone else on the grid, apart from possibly Lefted Ivan and Wilson Hall. I'm interested to see what they can do. Try a different tyre strategy. We'll see. I'm interested It could either listen. It's either going to be a brilliant race or it's going to be poor. It's one of the two. It's not going to be in the middle. It's going to be good or bad. And Jesse's gone. He's down towards turn 18. He's already gone very early on the pony. Gets a good run ahead of. Obviously, got a little bit wide. Lost about a tenth of a second there. Down towards turn 1. He's got to try and gain back in. Obviously, no DRS for 3 laps. So it'll be lap 15 before we get a dose of DRS. Down towards that first corner, and you can see Jay and still leading ahead of Yoris, ahead of Leo. It's a thin circuit. You don't see position changes on the opening lap of a restart here at Singapore, and we all file through down towards turn number 5, and well, it was like a restart never happened.
Now, something else has just occurred to me, actually. If drivers are hedging their bets on having to pit again, they're going to burn these tyres to sponge. So, as I'm watching Elliot Naren sliding side by side in impact with the Aston Martin of Tom Martinez. Now, Tom, obviously, with the tyre disadvantage at this point, he's not going to hang on to the back of the top group. So, from 9th upwards, he will somewhat expect that. So, the hard runners will drive accordingly. If the medium runners are basically accepting that they're going to have to come in again, they're going to absolutely floor it and fight at this point, I would think. I'm certainly hoping, because that's what we want to see. Elliot Naren again getting close to the back of Tom Martinez. Didn't really, I don't think he was trying to commit to it, but he kind of got himself really out of step coming through 10, 11 and 12. But he's wanting to get past Tom Martinez, needs to get past him. Otherwise, he's going to fall further and further back, and he needs to do it soon so that by the time the DRS is available, he's got it off the top 9. There he goes, commits to the inside line as they come through turn 16. That should be an easy move done. And that's Elliot Naren into the top 10.
You know, also got Racing Chance up the inside in towards turn 18. That was a brilliant move there from the Rebel to pop himself into P11. Now we've got Mark Shooter trying to get through ahead of Tom Martin as in towards turn 1 to the inside.
Ryan Grob's round.
Final corner, bit of a Lance Stroll moment there for Ryan Grubb. And, well, there he goes from bad to worse for the AlphaTauri driver. So, for look, we can see Elliot's got a 1.1 second gap to the top 9. Now, we'll see what can Tom do. He's in 13th. He's got to pit again. He's just not carrying the pace on those hards and everyone else is on the medium, so he can't really do much, I think, at this point. I think he'll be under pressure soon from Bogdan Moldovan. He'll probably drop down to 14th, and then, well, he's just stuck with his teammate, isn't he? Also on the hards, along with Ivan and along with Wilson. So we'll see what the strategy is there for Tom Martin, as we can see, as we all fly through down towards turn on. Yoris has got a 3/10 gap to JS Stink as they all head through towards a Singapore sling, and yeah, I don't know what's going to happen at all, because for now, I don't think we'll see many moves. I think the moves will be made in the pit stops, because I think they'll probably have to pit again. I don't think they'll go take those to the end. Surely not. There's no way.
I can't really, not unless they're going to drive very, 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 very tentatively, as we've got a spin. That's Grob again. Ryan Grob's day has just absolutely collapsed as far as this race is concerned. So having to do a numerous point turn to get himself out of the wall. So that is likely to be damage on the AlphaTauri, as Imtiaz and Elliot Naren have swapped round, still nearly glued to each other as the Red Bull fights his way past the Williams. But if Elliot Naren may be tired, but you know he's not going to give that up without a fight. He's used a lot of his battery to try and close that gap down. It's nearly 2 seconds between what is now the Red Bull in 10th and Jack Humphries, the tail end of that lead train. So again, that mainly demonstrates how important the DRS is, even here. Oh, that was very deep coming out of turn 5. That's lost in momentum. He did avoid the wall, but Elliot was really, really deep there. He's let Mark Schluter through. So is there damage on the Williams? Not entirely certain. Ryan Grubb has brought his car in to retire. That's our second retirement of the night.
Yep, and also that is a big shame, isn't it, for Ryan, unfortunately. In this session, not going to score any points, not even going to finish the race. But then again, it's Singapore. It's a horrible circuit. Drivers will get unlucky heavily, I think, around this circuit more than many others. Obviously, Tony, we lost earlier on down at turn number 9, or the exit at turn number 9. So 18 runners still in. Half of the way through the race pretty much shortly. 15.5 laps is when we'll get to that halfway point. So I'm quite intrigued to see how it will go towards the end. Obviously, we've got Leo in third position, trying to close in on Joris Kroos, and that gap, 0.4 of a second as they head out of turn 14, down towards turn 16. And obviously, Leo needs to get ahead, I think, of Jay if he wants to try and keep that championship alive at the moment. There's 10 points separating them in this race, meaning that by the end of this round, there will be 3 points separating them and it will be Jay ahead of Leo coming out of this championship race, because we know it's only 7 points separating the top 3 here in this championship. Keane going up, he's got a 15-point gap, to the championship leader, so at the moment wouldn't be looking to get himself closer to the lead, but he would be looking to try and overtake Lefty, who's had a bit of a poor race so far, a bit of a different strategy, not entirely worked out just yet, but if he doesn't have to pit and the others do, it could still be victory for Lefty in this race. So we'll see what the plan is for the Irish driver in the Aston Martin team here tonight. We can see, yet again, they're gaining on each other, but no one's making a move. It's just literally stalemate, and, well, there we are. It's like, if you can stay behind, I'll also stay behind you as well. There's no point making moves, because you're going to lose time. You lose time to the DRS, you're done for. So it's just, yeah, just chill out and just relax, pretty much, which is what I'm doing now at this point. There's nothing else I can do.
Well, that would more indicate that they are trying to ease their tires to the end. I've also had a look at everyone's ERS amount, and they are very high for the most part, except for Reyes Imtiaz, who's pushed absolutely to the limit to close in on that DRS train. So he's nearly into somewhere. He's pretty much in single figures as far as ERS amount is concerned. But now he's in that DRS train, it'll be easier for him to recoup that energy. Mark Schluter's not far behind, so he'll now join that DRS train as well. So then Elliot Loren is falling back. He's now 2.5 seconds behind that top group. What has happened to Elliot Loren? Has he got damage, or has he just kind of conceded that it's Singapore? Who knows? But he doesn't seem to be going his way. He's not pitting, so he is choosing to continue. Whatever the issue is, he's deciding to live with it. Yeah, I think we may be seeing drivers trying to take these mediums to the end, which is going to give quite an advantage to those that are on the hards and can stay on the hards, i.e. not Tom Martinez.
As we can see, Tom actually trying to make a move around the outside in towards turn 5. He's going to fight with the Williams, gets the run. Also, that's Bogdan trying to stick it through side by side at turn number 5, and they still go side by side down towards turn number 7. Bogdan's got that outside line as I head through. It will give him the inside line down towards the next corner and left. It also making a pass on Elliott. Not sure what's happening to Elliott, but just nothing's going to plan. He's lost 3 positions in a matter of 2 corners, and one of them isn't even a corner. It's a bit of a kick to the left. So Elliott just falling through and through the pack, and it doesn't look like he's got any visible damage. But then again, if you got damage, surely you won't lose on the straight. That's where he's losing his time, and Ryan, unfortunately, has left the session, so that's suffering that DNF he's done for the night here. But yeah, even though you're losing time in the corners because of damage, surely damage wouldn't make you lose time on the straight. So I'm not sure why he's losing so much time on that field, unless he's just trying to take his tires really, really calmly and just not get anywhere on them at all. But yeah, it's just not working.
I know why he lost time on that particular straight. He had no DRS, whereas everyone behind him did.
Okay.
So he just got absolutely mugged. So now, exactly as you say, he shouldn't be losing any time in the straights. He is behind Lefted, with Elliott should have a tire advantage over our championship leader, or our former championship leader, I should say. So I wouldn't be surprised if Elliott makes the move on the Aston Martin. But yeah, he had no answer, no DRS available to him as he nearly runs wide. Does run wide right at the end of that turn 18-19 double left-hander. He was just that tiny bit too wide. He's gone off the road. Elliot Loren has fallen off the road. Oh, the Williams pair are at the back. Well, that's rather, art imitates life, isn't it? But so Elliot Loren, he's just, I think he's given up on this one, if I'm honest. There was talk about him being tired in the driver's chat for whatever reason, but I get the feeling he's given up on this.
Yeah, I think there's nothing he can really do, is it, to recuperate his race so far. So, we'll see what he decides to do. If he stays it, if he goes in the pits and retires, either way, he's still raced, which is a good thing to see, as we can actually see Leo Lund looking to close in on Joris Kroos and through in towards turn 30. He's got a great run at the inside at the hairpin, backs out for now. Doesn't want to get a move there, but he could get it down towards turn 14. Not sure what's happened to Joris there, but he lost a lot of time coming through that middle sector, and it put Leo right on his back as they head in towards turn number 14. He's gaining in a bit more. He hasn't got the running towards turn 14 to get a move. Might be down towards turn 16, possibly with a bit of battery usage on the back. He's going to push. He's going to go to the outside. What's he going to do? What does Leo do? Does he go to the inside? Yes, he does, but doesn't make the move. He gained enough, but he just stopped using that battery. That just dropped him at that position he was in and put him a 10th back in towards that braking zone. So they head through towards the final corner, then towards turn 1, and well, no changes again for the lead. It won't change, I don't think, for a long time. They've got what, 13 laps left in this race. They're on 10 lap auto, so it will take them 19 laps, I think, something like that. I can't remember. I'm not very good at maths.
Yeah, well, that's a precursor to a retirement, and that is going to be the end of the race. Oh, yeah. No, sorry, I thought he left the session without retiring the car. So no, that's retirement number 3. Ellie Naren, as I figured he has given up on this one. This group of medium tires on the car. Anyway, well, we will see how the rest of this goes. Yeah, I think we are going to be in for a more strategic race. I was rather hoping that we're going to see the rest of the field really push their tyres to the limit and then change for a set of softs at the end. I don't think we're going to see that. But we will deal with what we have, as I'm running on board with Yeno Dovzan, staring at the back of Exafox. With the amount of braking zones that we've got in this track, it's not too difficult for the drivers to regain all their battery. That's the biggest indication that drivers are kind of taking things a little bit more gently if they have a lot of energy. If their batteries are flat, they're pushing like mad. Go on.
Mark Schultz had a bit of a mistake then at turn 4. I think he literally just missed the corner. He's gone really deep and he's lost a couple of positions. We had a yellow flag briefly, but he has got it back running. He's lost, I think that's 5 seconds to the back of Bogdan. So I'm not sure if they all got caught up there in that corner, because they've got a massive gap now to P10 and above. You can see Mark just closing in, but he was the one who suffered that loss of position down at turn number 14. We can see further ahead that it will be Leo trying to get in also. Tom Martin's looking to get in on the back of Mark. So now these hards looking quicker. Wilson Hall into the pit. So I'm not sure if he suffered any damage. We'll go on board with the Williams as he heads in towards that pit lane. A long run for the Williams to the end box here in the pits. We'll see. Does he have a change of front wing or just a change of tyres? I think they've got a front wing waiting for him. No, just a change of tyres. So medium. So he doesn't think they get to the end possibly. We'll see.
He was on hards though, so he could have.
Intriguing there from Wilson Hall.
Unless let me double check. Let me see if it was unless he had to. Has he done 2 hards?
No, because he's up to medium. Remember, went to medium hard, so he eliminated that back to the tyre.
Hard, medium. So yeah, that's his 3rd stop. In which case, but yeah, Tom Martinez, as we thought, does indeed have to come in again. He has done 2 hards. So he's got no choice. He's got to come in again no matter how the race goes. So he's banking on a safety car, I would think, minimum.
Surely. But then again, if there's a safety car, surely wouldn't everyone else pit for softs? That's what I was thinking.
Well, yeah, potentially. Depends when the safety car comes in. But this means Wilson Hall, he could actually burn those tyres to absolute sponge. Because, we've got, 12 laps left, which, the mediums can do at fairly comfortable pace. He's got the opportunity to push them to absolutely nothing.
Pits. 2 drivers, Bogdan and Mark.
As Don Martinez is gone through, we're seeing people getting rid of these mediums following on Wilson's example, I wonder. So again, they're thinking about, I'm not going to risk it. I'm towards the back. I may as well stick on a set of tyres. I know I can push hard. So that puts Martinez, Lefted, Ivan Santamaria, and Gabriel Quintino into that pack. I mean, they're kind of in no man's land at the moment. Whereas those at the front, they're committed. Well, I was going to say they're committed now. If they choose to pit now, they could kind of make decent use of fresh tyres and push like hell. But if they're going to commit to this, their tyres are just going to be absolutely tatters.
I've got a bit of a theory of what could happen. So, if those in the top 10 pits, Tom 97 is just ahead of his teammate. So, they could let Lefty carry on ahead. Tom could then try and block all those coming back from the mediums. We know they've been teammates. I know they've worked together before because I was watching some of Tom's videos earlier on. So we know it's not coming that Tom will try and help his teammates. So maybe, if we can see Lefty get through and all those pit, Tom could then become a virtual blockade.
It's possible.
And I wouldn't blame him. It'd be a great strategic idea. It depends on what those cars do. And in that top 10, and none of them have pitted just yet. So still it's just Bogdan, Wilson and Mark that have opted for the pits. Oh, I'll say that. Jack Humphries and Ray Simkias into the pit. So we'll see what their choice of strategy is. Is it mediums? Is it softs? They come through in towards the pit lane and it'll be softs for Race. And what about Jack? Mediums for Jack. So Ray's going for something a little bit different there to those guys. And it's just a top 8, which are in that leading train.
I think softs are a bit optimistic. They'll just about do it, but I Oh, that's risky. Mediums, you can go absolutely hell for leather, but softs, not so sure.
An interesting one. I think he can push at the start.
Oh, Sluter on Wilson Hall. Sorry, Mark Sluter was just banzaied the inside of the Williams coming into turn one.
You said he quite would when you said that.
Well, I thought he made the move quite late, so I was hoping he wasn't going to take the Williams with him into the wall. But Sluter has got no battery left, so he's been pushing quite hard.
Yeah, he wants to catch up to Bogdan, doesn't he? He's got a 1.6 second gap to Bogdan. All around these three just are in just nowhere, are they? There's nothing I don't think they can do. But then again, they're only 3 seconds back from Race Imtiaz, who's in that leading trainer pitted. So it might not be too bad for them.
We've got several different strategies playing out here. We've got the top, what is now 8, all on the medium tyres, hoping to tiptoe their way to the end. You've got Martinez, which, yeah, like you say, could be acting as a blocker if the top 8 pit.
Mm-hmm.
But then you've got Lefted and Ivan Santa Maria that can, more comfortably at least, take their tyres to the end to the top guys. Quintino's basically is the same as the top lot, but just out of position. And then you've got those 13 downwards that can go absolutely hell-bent and see, quality times to the end of the race. Who's going to win? I don't know how to call this. I really don't.
Because they're getting in quite quickly. They've got a 14.5 second gap now to Gabriel Quintino, has Jack Humphreys. Now, the others seem like at the moment they will stay out unless they're opting for soft. So instead of going on to a set of mediums, they're going to go a little bit later and go to a set of soft. As left, it takes ninth away from Tom Martinez in towards turn number 7 to pop himself into that ninth position of the race. They're still got a 10-second gap to the top 8. So, if they were all to pit, if they was to all at the top pit now, they'd have to gain at least a second a lap-ish.
I'm going to have a look at some lap times here whilst you're calling the action. So, race leader last time around was a 33.5. I've read it and I've immediately forgotten what it was.
33.5.
So 33.5? Yes, it was. So that's the kind of pace he's been setting. 33.1, 33.3, 33.6, 33.5. So that's the kind of pace that Jay and obviously the field behind him are kind of setting. Let's have a look further back. What about let's take Mark Sluter, for instance, in the McLaren. I'm probably not going to get too much because he's just pitted. Mind you, he's just done the fastest lap of the race with a 31. Oh no, sorry, personal best with a 31.0.
Oh, that's 2.5 seconds quicker a lap.
Exactly.
What about Imtiaz?
I'll come away. Hang on. Let's have a look at Reyes Imtiaz. Where is he? He is in 13th. So Reyes Imtiaz last time around was. He's just pitted, so it was a 151.7. So,
okay.
130.0.
That's 3.5 seconds quicker.
Tires.
Yeah, that's 3.5 seconds quicker than Leo Lund. Oh, and he gets a penalty. And he gets a penalty. Race, no. He was looking like in a good position then, but no. The penalties came out. You've got to get another 3 seconds at the end. So, the top 3 still staying out. No one in the top 8 has pitted yet again. Gabriel Quintino, however, has pitted onto a set of soft tyres, so we'll see what he can do. Obviously, he would like to get himself probably through on lots of Wilson, Mark, Bogdan and Jack. But yeah, then ahead of that, I don't think they're going to make much work. But there's a 10-second gap between Race and Ivan. It was a 23-second gap earlier on. I think it was.
Well, assuming that he's gaining 2.5 seconds a lap, just to use that as some kind of average. That's 5 laps. He's going to be with Ivan Santa Maria.
Yep.
And then another. But then he'd need another 5 to catch the top block. But that's, of course, assuming they maintain their current pace. They're not going to be able to do that when they've got the absolute sponges left on their tyres. So at some point, the top pace is going to fall away, or people are going to get a little bit kind of fed up of being in the train and start to push. Well, great for us, but on very knackered tyres, this really could go either way. As Santa Maria has gotten past Tom, has he come into the pits? Yes. So Tom Martinez has ditched his idea and come into the pits. Well, of course, like we said, he had to. He hadn't used any other tyres. It's going to be soft tyres. No point using mediums from there. Oh, never mind. He's going medium. Why? You had the opportunity to use soft tyres. They would have made it to the end. Well, okay. I question not. What I do question, but I don't have an answer to it. Or as I just saw Leo Lund nearly hit the back of Joris Krutzen. Now, people are starting to use a bit more battery energy, I notice, up top. Not too much, but there's starting to be a bit of usage there. So are we seeing people trying to push a little bit more? I don't know if they're going to have the tyres to push. They're already 15 laps old. So
they're pushing hard, but...
Well, I can't see how they can, because their tyres are going to be just screaming at them like you having a laugh. I don't know. I wonder. Reyes Imtiaz could most certainly get past the next two without too much trouble, which is Lefted and Ivan Santa Maria. I'm going to also keep an eye on whether that gap between Lefted and that top group comes down by any significant gap. In fact, I'm going to look at lap times again. So between Liam Stevens, who is now the back car of that group, his last lap was a 33.7. So yeah, we can kind of see that pace ebbing away. Lefted was a 33.9, so he hasn't got pace advantage over the top group.
Yeah, but he has gained in a little bit, because that gap was over 10 seconds. It's now 9.8, so it's coming down slowly in certain parts of the circuit. It's gone back up to 10 seconds now, but that's because of DRS. They lose time in that DRS zone. You can see Ray Simpson has got a 6-second gap to Ivan Santa Maria. That gap should easily come down, and I think they'll easily get past Ivan before the end of this race. But I think at the top, I don't think it's going to change that much. I don't think they got at the pace to gaining quick enough as Gabriel Quintana's like the fastest lap there with a 1 minute 30.051. But I don't think the top pace are going to be phased at all. They've still got a 15-second gap to Reyes Imtiaz.
Yeah, well, they're not going to be too worried about Reyes Imtiaz for the moment, as Imtiaz has just lost a position on my screen to Jack Humphreys.
Yeah, Daniel says in the chat they're going to end surely. They're not going to pit now, I don't think. I think lap 22 is probably the cut-off, I think, for pitting. If they pit now, it's going to be too early. If they pit now, I think it'll be too late. I don't think it's worth it now.
Yeah, they've accepted their fate at this point, and Lefted's strategy has backfired on him, unfortunately, as Jack now gets his name on the penalty board.
Either way, if they catch up, they got an extra 3 seconds. So I don't think they're going to be caught.
No, unfortunately not. I think you're right there. So my initial thoughts on we may well have those storming through from the back. Well, they'll close up, but they're not going to get there quick enough to make a difference, unfortunately.
Then I start to think, why did Race and Jack go for that strategy? Because it hasn't worked, and well, they may as well. They were outside of the points. They may as well throw the dice and see what happens. I thought Jack and Race were in the points because they was ahead of Lefted.
Oh, Jack was. Reyes wasn't.
Wasn't he?
Remember, Reyes double stacked and got stitched in the pit stop, didn't
he went down to P14, didn't he? Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So Reyes thought, well, may as well, but it's not going to pay off for him.
See, at that point, I would have just stayed out and went in the next lap.
Yeah, benefit of hindsight.
Indeed, well, I'm still proud of Exafox in that P6 position. We haven't seen much of him at all this season. I don't believe he's got any points on the board. We'll have a look at Exafox's previous results. So far it's been a DNF, 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 0-0. Well, looking to make it a DNF, 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 0-0-8 on the board. So, not going too shabby for him at the moment. No,
and that 8 points will give him, as it currently stands, I think 1, 2, 3, 4 positions on the board. So, with Reyes not scoring, Ryan is out, and Valentino Labella is a reserve, and Andre Moldar's not here. So he could gain several, and if he does manage to gain 1 or 2 more, that will most definitely get him on the board, which, he's been very, very unlucky so far.
Yes, indeed. I do feel a bit bad for him, because we know that from last season he was a brilliant driver. I think he was, third in the standings last time. In WRT3, but here this week it's just, this season it's just not gone well, has it? Nothing has worked well, but tonight could be different. I'm not going to say it's definitely going to be different, because we're going to get a jinx, aren't we? And I'm not here for that today. I've not commentated cursed anyone this evening at all, which for me is a big surprise. Not sure about you, Chris, but I don't think we've actually cursed anyone as Wilson Hall back into the pits.
So Wilson Hall's had enough. So, that's both Williams out.
So coming through in towards turn number 9 again, and the gap to leader, it's about 10, 11 seconds, I think.
Yeah, it's not changing. So The tyre drop-off just hasn't happened as certainly dramatically. I thought the mediums would be really, really dying off by now, but it just hasn't happened. I was about to say what was that yellow flag, but it's Wilson Hall's ghosted car just coming out on track as it does and parks it. Dovzan getting very close to the back of the aforementioned X-Fox, but not close enough to make a challenge.
Yeah, at the moment, I think it looks like Ivan and X-Fox both going to be scoring their first point. So brilliant round for those two.
Yeah. This is the thing, though. If somebody makes a mistake in this top group, or someone has a puncture, that's something we haven't seen.
Yeah, it could happen, couldn't it? As you can see Leo Lund gaining in on Yaris down towards turn 1. And then I think now, this is where we see the top 3 battle, I think. A little bit harder than they have before. Because they know they're not going to be caught up by the top 9 or 9th. They're not going to be caught up by 9th and below. So they can have a little bit of a battle, try and fight for position as that is marked for just getting a penalty for corner cutting. So we completely cut the corner there down at turn 16. That marker wouldn't call ideal.
No, not ideal. But Jack Mark has parked it. So that's another retirement from this race. A quarter of the field now gone, as Jack Humphries has just wriggled his way past Ivan Santamaria. So that's going to deny Ivan's first point of the season if they finish the way they are now. And of course, he's got Reyes Imtiaz on his tail, ready to make his day that a little bit worse as well. But this could actually see Lefted, because if Reyes manages to overtake the 2 cars ahead of him, they could actually see Lefted out of the points for the second time this season. So the first 3 races went really well for Lefted, and the subsequent 3 races have been pretty meagre.
Indeed. As we can see, Yerno gaining in on Exavox to pop himself into 6th position, in towards turn number 14. Has he got a run there? Can he get a run down towards the chicane? No, not quite. What about Leo Lund? He's also gaining in on Yaris. He can't find a way through. That's Jack Humphries getting through on Lefted. So these mediums working for Jack Humphries, but he's got to get 3 seconds now on Lefted to make that position stay. Otherwise, he's going to drop back down. Ray Simchaz also looking to gain and pop himself in towards P11 as he gets up the inside of Ivan Santa Maria. Ivan's going to defend it. Ray's going to try and go around the outside. Can he get in towards turn 19? They go side by side. No, can't make a way through there, but he's actually going to go back up the inside, then at turn 19, and put himself into P11. Perfect job there from the Red Bull to pop himself 1 place closer to a point, but he's got the penalty. He's not going to gain up enough to pop himself into top 10, because he's going to get it past left and then gain 3 seconds. That's not going to happen in 2 laps' time, because he's only got 2 laps left. So I think they tried something. Maybe it could have worked, but it didn't, unfortunately, and I think that's the type of risk you take. I think it was a bit of a risk for Jack, but as you said, with race being out of the points, it was a risk worth taking. And I think actually he would have finished higher than he was before, because I think he was in P13 before he made a pit stop. So actually, it has worked for race. Just for Jack, without penalty, it would have worked a tiny bit. It would have got him 2 points on the board. So yes, it's a bit of a shame for Jack, because I know Jack, he's a brilliant driver. Same as Race, they're both brilliant drivers. Obviously, Race was back on the PS, one of the top guys over there. Jack as well, I think probably the quickest driver in the whole of Australia and New Zealand, that area of the world. So it's a shame not to see them getting good points this season and not really fighting for top 5s and top 3s, which I expected them to be.
Yeah, I don't think you were the only one expecting that as well, but that's the way it goes, unfortunately. But towards the front, though, JST just 2.5 laps away. Well, not even that. Two laps and 2 corners away from taking his first win of the season, and really, well, he will be taking the championship lead from Leo Lund, who would finish through. Would he? Yes, he would, because he would outscore him by 10 points. So he would just about wrestle the championship lead from Leo, if they finish in the order that they are now, of course. Still 2 laps to go, penultimate lap here in Singapore. So it's been a race of varying strategies, as Singapore inevitably does become most of the time, in fairness. But the top group, that top 8, all still very, very, very fidgety. Jack Humphries pushing like mad to try and undo his 3-second penalty. As Agos Reyes Imtiaz on the outside of Lefted.
Oh,
a little bit.
Yoris.
Oh,
he's got desync, I think, or lag, and oh no, big shame for Yoris now. Down to P6, was looking for P2, and a bit of lag there. It's dropped him back down the field to P6, under pressure now from Dovzan, and Oh, this is a shame for Joris indeed. He was looking for an easy top 3, I think, in this race. Other than that, or it could have been mindset that drop down. But yeah, Joris, what a shame. Would have been some decent points. Would have been some very good points as they head down towards turn number 14. They've got to what? 14 the gap between the leaders, obviously JSD and Leo Lund. And well, we come on to the final lap shortly. It could be between I think it will most likely be between the two of them who take the victory. But Leroy Brown possibly could try and make something work. I don't think we spoke about him at all for the past 5 laps because he's just been chilling behind in third. But we'll see, what can Leroy Brown do here in this race?
Yeah, Leroy Brown up into third now. Where's Leroy in the? He's eighth in the championship. Has only seen the podium once, and that was at the opening round of Bahrain. So he wouldn't mind a podium finish here in Singapore. But anything can still happen. Final lap then. McLaren from Haas from Mercedes. JST from Lund from Brown.
Yep, then towards turn number 7, we'll go on board with Leo Lund. Can he try and make a way through on JS? He's got to go to the inside line if he wants to make something work. Unless he goes to the outside. No, to the inside line for Leo. Back safe. Doesn't want to make the move there as they come through. Kian has lost the 1 second gap to the top 3, so he's pretty much out of this top 3 battle. In towards turn 9. That's a big slide from JS. That puts now Leo Lund on the right on the back, and also Leroy Brown as well. Right on the back of the 2 as they head through down towards turn number 10. Bit of a slide there from the Haas. They fly in towards the Singapore thing. Will we get any moves here? Probably not, unless someone makes a bit of a mistake. They come through. Kian's caught right back up to these top 3 battle now. After that bit of a slide from Jane towards turn number 8, they head down towards the hairpin. No moves being sent there. No heroics at all. Luckily, no heroics being sent into there now. DRS down towards turn 14. Can Leo try and get himself into the lead? Can he try and make it 3 wins here at WR Tier 2? He's not got the run towards turn 14 when he wanted. He now needs to get it down in towards turn number 16. Leroy Rain right on the back of the Haas. They fly down towards turn 16. And we've had a bit of an incident. That's Yone Dovsan dropping a few positions. Now we've got Leo onto the back of Leo down in towards the brake zone. They can't find a way through. Leo goes a bit deep. That can allow Leroy to try and get a bit of run up the inside. No, he can't. Either. No one can find a way through. JSD rounds the final corner. He will take victory here tonight at WR for round 6 of the championship. JSD takes his first victory this season. Look at that towards the end. Leroy Brown finishing in third ahead of Keane, who was only 10th back, heading at the final corner. Yet again, a very close finish between the top 4, but it's JSD who comes out on top, and now he will become the champ. No, he won't. I think he will actually. Let's have a look at the gap. They'll be drawn on points. The championship will be drawn on points going in towards the next round. Now that is something.
Oh, you got to feel for Joris Kurtzen, though. Did nothing wrong, and then just suddenly finds himself 4 or 5 positions down. Oh, got to feel for him. But fair play to JST. That's 3 podiums in the last 3 races. Well, all 3 spots, indeed, of the podium explored in the last 3 races. This time taking that top spot. And so that makes, 4 winners now from 6 races.
Yes, JSD now. So in the top 4, they've all had a race each. So Leo Lund's had 2. Then we had Lefty with a race win, Jay now with a race win, Kian and Sergio Spinner all with a win here in this championship so far.
That was 5. So it's 5 winners.
5 out of 6, yeah.
Yeah, so it's Leo, Lefted, now JST, Kian, who won at Silverstone,
and Sergio
Sabrino, who won last time out.
Yeah, so it was the championship is shaping up brilliantly so far. But JSC, you can see on the screens, did take victory here tonight for WR Tier 2, round number 6, ahead of Leo Lund in second and Leroy Brown. Finished on the podium, I believe, for the first time this season as well. So great job there from the Mercedes of Leroy Brown. Then we have Keane going up in the top 4, just narrowly missing out on the podium ahead of Exafox in the top 5. Brilliant race there from Exafox. And we have Joris, Liam Stevens, Yone Dovsan, Jack Humphries and Lefted in that top 10. Then Arvin Santamaria in 11th, Bogdan Moldovan in 12th, Ray Imtiaz 13th, Tom Martinez 14th, and Gabriel Quintino 15th. And then I think we had Mark in 16th. Then we did lose Wilson, Elliott, Ryan, and Tony in this race. And well, what it could have been for Tony, what it also could have been for Ryan Grob if those issues didn't occur. Well, I think it was, it could have been more entertaining. But either way, I think it was still a good race for Singapore itself. And hopefully we'll see if we can get a word from any of the drivers in the interview room. We'll pop ourselves to the interview screen. We'll see if we can have a word with anyone in the top 3 today. We'll pop a message as well in the TSU chat to make them aware that the interviews are going to be into play.
We have one of our drivers ready to chat to us. So certainly Leo Lund is already made himself available. Shall I drag him over?
Can do indeed.
And there he is. Leo, are you with us?
Hello.
Hello. Well, That was somewhat strategic. I've got to ask, how much life did you have left in your tires?
Nothing.
We were thinking everybody must be taking a chance on the safety car, taking the mediums that far. How difficult was it to really kind of make those tires work, considering how long you'd had them for?
It was not that hard as I expect, because on the last lap when you pushed everything, it was very hard. But the laps before, not very hard, but yeah.
Oh, goodness me. So next time out is Mexico. What are your thoughts towards the South American Classic?
Lovely track.
Awesome. So more podiums to come then?
More wins, I will say.
Oh, you heard it here first, folks. Fair play. Well, good race. The championship is very much looking very, very exciting, and we look forward to seeing you on track. Thank you very much, Leoland.
Thank you.
And we do have our race winner, JSD, in the waiting room. So, Jay, hello, Jay. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Well, there we are. Victory once again. Jay, how are you feeling?
Oh, so nice. Very important victory tonight. Oh, so happy with that.
So, once you come out of qualifying, did you think you was gonna win first of all, or did you think maybe you didn't have quite enough?
I've known that I'm very fast here, also in qualifying, but I didn't hook up a perfect lap, so I'm very happy with P2. And my strategy was to overtook Joris as fast as possible, because in the first laps my feeling was that he was a little bit slower in ways. So I want to be in first. So it's very hard to overtook people here. So I want to lead the race, and that's secured me the win, I think.
Yeah, I think it was a brilliant job. I think it was quite calm and collected. I think the lucky thing about this track is you don't really need to worry so much about people overtaking you, because it's quite thin and there's not really many places to be overtaken. But was there quite a lot of pressure going onto that last lap with Leo being right behind?
Yeah, of course. I don't know. My tires were at the end. I have 74% in start finish, so it was perfect.
Yeah, close to a puncture. Do you think maybe 2 or 3 more laps and you could have seen people get punctures?
Yeah, of course. One more lap maybe. So when we have one more lap, I've got a puncture. So it was perfect timing, and was the best strategy to not pit and stay out. And well, very happy. GG's.
Yeah, next week we have Mexico, the first sprint race of the season. Do you like sprint races?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So, are you quick at Mexico as well? That's another question.
I don't know. I'm not driven proper league race here, so only some fun races and one in the German league. And there was no training at all. So let's see. I have a little bit of time, maybe over Christmas, so maybe a little practice.
Indeed, yeah. I forgot we're not back, are we, next week? It's Christmas next week. Yeah, I completely forgot about that. Next week, I think, is it? No, yes, it's Christmas Day next week. I forgot about that. I completely forgot it's Christmas. Well, in about 3 weeks, I'm going to be back. Obviously, you got a chance to take, I think, 30 points in Mexico, because obviously the sprint race. I think you and Leo are actually drawn at the top of the standings, I think. So
very
that
close.
championship fight definitely could be on. Obviously, last season, the season before, didn't quite go to plan, but maybe this is your season.
Hopefully. Let's see.
Indeed. Anything from you, Chris? The normal German phrase?
It's Hollis Rennen.
Vielen Dank.
I mean, you led the way. You did exactly what you needed to do. Your eyes must have been kind of glued to your tire wear, or were you confident when you pitted under the safety car that you could do it?
Some people in my chat are saying that I finished the race with 65%. So, but what a little bit more. So I was confident in the last laps. It was very close, but it's worked out. So I'm happy. Take it.
Yes, absolutely. We look forward to seeing you in Mexico.
Yeah. Well.
Bye.
Bye.
So there, everyone. That is the interview complete. We're going to just quickly get Chris back onto the screen. Then you'll see our faces pop back up before we conduct the end of the stream. So it was a Singapore race. Let's just put it that way. Nothing really happened in terms of the battling. It was, well, I'm a little bit glad it's over, but apart from that, it was a brilliant race. And the championship next race, if there's no penalties, should be between Jay and Leo being drawn on points. Mexico sprint race. I mean, you can effectively take, because there's a point for the fastest lap along with the sprint race. That's 9. Then along with the 26, that's what 35 points. Which just say someone like with the likes of Kian, Tony, Yoris, 30-ish points back. That could put them right into it if they can get themselves a victory in both races. So, not next week and not the week after. The week after that, I believe, is when we're back. Should be a brilliant race. And well, it's the final time in 2023, Chris, that we're here on the WR channel. Now, this year to me, it's gone too quick. It's gone way too quick. I remember the start of the year when we had the start of season. I think it was season 15, the start of the year, or season 14. Yes, this year's gone frighteningly quick, and well, I think it's been a good year. I think at WR especially.
Yeah, the racing we've seen, the drivers that have not necessarily come and gone, but come and gone from tier 2. So yeah, the wins we've seen, those that have gone on to tier 1 and other things have been fantastic. We still have half of this season to do. So what a great way to kick off 2024 with a double header in Mexico.
Indeed, which I'm very excited for. And yeah, for the final time, thank you everyone this year. It feels weird saying that. This whole year for joining us in WR, whether it's been on the console side, the PC side, or any of the team championships that obviously happen on the console. It's been a pleasure to be able to commentate over this tier and also over in tier 1, and also be alongside Mr. Chris Buxton for this past season so far. And obviously Sapitron, who I was with back in season 14 and 15. But enough rambling from me about the end of the year and what it's been. I just want to wish everyone a happy Christmas and I said it wrong way around. A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I'll see you all in 2024. Good night.